Xbox have had a complicated few years. Game Pass expanded massively, studios were acquired at historic scale, and then came the layoffs, the cancellations, the questions about what Microsoft's gaming strategy actually is. For a lot of people watching from the outside, Xbox has felt like a platform searching for its identity. And then they showed Gears of War eday. Not just another sequel, not just another franchise entry, a rebuilt from scratch Unreal Engine 5 origin story for the franchise that arguably built Xbox's identity in the first place. Today, I want to make the case for why Gears of War eday isn't just a great looking game, it might be the most important Xbox exclusive in years. Xbox entered this console generation with the Game Pass as its primary value proposition. The pitch was simple. For a monthly subscription, you get access to hundreds of games, including every first party Xbox release on day one. It's a compelling offer, and for casuals or budget conscious players, it generally is a great deal. But Game Pass without compelling exclusive content is just Netflix with a controller. And over the past few years, the list of truly outstanding Xbox exclusives have just fell shy. Meanwhile, PlayStation was delivering God of War Ragnarok, Spider-Man 2, Ghost of Tsushima, and so on. So many titles that are just prestige in their exclusive content, and it was visible and discussed constantly throughout the gaming world. Microsoft acquired Bethesda, Activision, Blizzard, and a dozen other studios. The portfolio grew enormously on paper, but turning acquisitions into critical and commercial successes takes a long time, and the community's patience was wearing thin. Now, the answer to all this is eday, a blockbuster first-party exclusive from a beloved franchise built from scratch with the latest technologies, confirmed as an Xbox console exclusive. After a rumoured PS5 version was actually cancelled, this is Xbox saying we still make games that you need an Xbox to play. Of all the franchises Microsoft could have bet big on to re-establish Xbox identity, Gears of War is arguably the most symbolic loaded choice. The original Gears of War didn't just sell well in 2006, it sold the Xbox 360 as a platform. It was the reason people upgraded, it demonstrated what Microsoft's hardware could do in a way that was immediately visible. It was a system seller in the truest sense of the term. For the following decade, Gears was one of those three pillars alongside Halo, Forza. These were the games that defined what Xbox meant as a platform. They were the games PlayStation fans wished they could play. Gears of War 4 and 5, developed by the Coalition, were solid entries. Gears 5 in particular received strong critical reception, but neither game truly broke through to the cultural moment the original trilogy had achieved. Gears felt like it was maintaining a legacy rather than building a new one. eday set on the most important event in the franchise's history, featuring the return of the original characters with their original voice actors, built from the ground up on current generational technology. This is the Coalition's attempt to make Gears matter again. And the initial response from the Xbox Game Showcase suggests they've found the right angle. Multiple outlets described the eday presentation as the highlight of the show, and in my opinion, it was unbelievable. If you do want to see my reaction video to that, check out the video there. One dimension of eday's significance that doesn't get enough attention: it launches day one on Game Pass for the existing Game Pass subscribers, and there are tens of millions of them. eday is essentially free to play from launch. That lowers the barrier to entry enormously and almost guarantees massive day one player counts regardless how many people buy the game outright. But Game Pass Day 1 releases have a complicated history. When a high-profile game launches on Game Pass, immediately it can sometimes feel like the game didn't perform in sales terms very well. This has led to some exceptional issues around Game Pass titles, where great games feel underappreciated because their traditional sales metric just doesn't capture the subscription place. eday could flip that narrative if the game delivers, if it becomes a cultural conversation piece in the way the original trilogy did. Then millions of Game Pass subscribers experience it simultaneously could create exactly the kind of shared moment that subscription model has struggled to generate so far. With the open beta starting August the 6th, it's clearly designed to build exactly the community momentum before launch. Xbox Play Anywhere policy means that buying eday once gives you access on both Xbox Series X, S, and PC, combined with Game Pass availability and the eventuality of it being on Steam. The coalition is positioning eday to reach the widest possible audience while keeping it off PlayStation. What eday gets right that recent Xbox games got wrong? The coalition has set a clear, contained scope and filled that scope with extraordinary detail. Focus produces better games than ambition without direction. eday is going back to what Gears is: cover-based, intense, cinematic, heavy, emotional shooter. It's not trying to reinvent the genre, it's trying to be the best possible version of the genre that made the franchise so famous. The original voice actors returning to these roles is so significant. These are not just talent decisions, they're statements of intent. The coalition is honouring the emotional history fans have with these characters. You cannot replace Marcus Phoenix's voice and expect the fan base to feel the same. Let's talk about what's actually at stake here beyond a single gamer's review. If Gears of War eday delivers critically, commercially, with the strong player retention driven by Horde Siege and an emotional campaign that reconnects the audience to Marcus and Dom, it validates Microsoft's strategy of investing heavily in the coalition and in Gears as a flagship franchise. It suggests Xbox's first party pipeline is capable of producing the kind of game that justifies the entire platform. It also has potential for franchise implications. The lore between eday and the original Gears of War is, as the coalition describe it, negative space. 14 years between events of this game and Gears 1 contain entire wars, story, characters, and a lot of development that we can see coming in the future. There are stories out there that could sustain sequels, spin offs, or even expansions without even touching the original trilogy. And if eday is successful, bringing new players into the franchise, players who find it on Game Pass, play it first, and then go back to experience that original trilogy, it could always revitalize interest in Gears broadly, potentially setting up a modern remaster of the original trilogy. The franchise that built Xbox identity could rebuild it. That's the opportunity in front of the coalition right now, and from what we've seen, they know exactly what they're doing. I've been covering Xbox for a long time now, and I've watched the highs of Halo 3, Gears, Red Dead Redemption, the Xbox 360 golden era. And I've watched the difficult years, the underwhelming launches, the cancellations, the projects, the discourse. Now, does it still have what it takes? Gears of War eday feels like a turning point. Not just a good game, though, it looks like it will be that, but a statement, a demonstration that the coalition understands this franchise, respects its history, and has the technical capability and creative ambition to take it somewhere new. Origin stories only work when they earn what they're explaining, when they make you feel the weight of what the future holds for the characters you're watching or playing as. When you understand something about the world that you fully didn't understand before, everything the coalition has shown suggests eday earns exactly that. the city of Kelowna falling, the birth of the Chainsaw Lancer, the beginning of the most iconic brotherhood in Xbox gaming history. This is the story Gears fans have been waiting for since 2006, and it's almost here. If this video got you hyped, leave a like and subscribe. I'll be covering eday all the way up to launch and beyond. See you in the next one.